computer. Right. So we're going to start off with what is a fairly common auxiliary parry, and I think a fairly good one to start with as well, because it also teaches you a new guard, and that's the parry of high prime. So prime, meaning first, like Optimus Prime being the first Prime, which is weird because in Transformers lore he's like the last Prime, he's like the last of them. So I don't know how that works, but basically Prime or Preem just means one in Romance languages. And the idea is being that this is the position, the first position you come to when you draw your sword. So you're walking along, you see a vagabond attack you, you pull out your sword, and this is where you go, and this is the position you're going to arrive in. The parry of high prime defends the high inside line. So all you do is you start by turning your hand over so that your palm is facing out, your tip is facing down. You extend your arm out and move it so that you probably want your hand on the center line, with your tip facing outwards, so that the tip is covering from the middle of your body all the way over to your inside line. And when you've got a shell, jamming that shell on the center line really occupies space very effectively. If you're doing this with a stick, like you're cane fighting, you're probably going to want to be much further over, so your hand doesn't get whacked and punchy. But when you've got a sword with a shell, I'm pretend that I do, jam it on the center line, and occupy space. You see that from the side. This is the position. Tip is, basically the blade is not quite vertical. It's pointing just a little bit off, but it's sloping down a lot to improve coverage. This is your high prime. So let's just practice that again 2 or 3 times. So turn the hand over, project it out, and bring it to, and just bring it over and punch your fist onto the center line. Back to guard. Just doing all the motions at once. Turn your hand over, straighten your arm, and punch it out to the side. Show that again from the side. Turn my hand over, punch it out, and bring it over to cover the inside line. A lot of people do hold it quite high with the hand at the forehead height. That's not necessary. I find that just projecting your hand out, because the sword is coming at an angle, if your hand is at shoulder length, and the sword is coming with your opponent's hand held low, to get over the top, to get over your hand, they actually have to bring their hand really, really high, which I don't mind, because if they start bringing their hand high, really, really high to get around my sword, they just back off and have a crack at their sword arm, trying to get some quite, which is much, it's much more efficient than just Right. So let's do that again. So, just extend, turn your hand over, bring to prime, bring your hand over, turn, extend to prime. Whatever order. Let's try and do all those motions at once, because it really all should be done at once. So prime, back to guard, prime, back to guard, prime, back to guard, prime, back to guard. Something to look for when you're doing this is try and keep your tip relatively in front of your body. Your tip's going to end up in line with the edge of your body, and you want to try and move it straight there, like move there in a very straight, short line. You don't want it arcing like this. You don't want this big loopy action, because that can actually pull your opponent's sword into you. So bang, straight there. Right. Go back to guard. So parrying is all well and good, but we do need to riposte, as we learned in last week's lesson on riposting. So we're going to riposte with cut 2, so I find that's the most intuitive from here. If you're a more advanced student, or if you're just playing with this at home, watching the videos, start trying to throw the other cuts from each parry to see what works and what doesn't. What you find is stuff that is maybe not that quick, it's still really good to fly out. Like one of my favourite parry riposte combinations is parrying card, and then throwing number 4. That's sort of like quick, it's a big movement. The fact it's a bit slower and coming in on an angle often catches my opponent unawares. And so do try different things out. But for the time being, we're just going to look at Parry prime, and riposting with the card number 2. So I'm going to go here, and just whipping my tip around, so whipping my tip around, and hitting. And something that John Waite talks about with his extended guard, he reckons that your hand should never move backwards. So if you're extended, you should never do that. Just whip around, which is good swordsmanship, although very difficult to do, and a little bit backwards movement. You might be able to get away with, but it's an aspirational goal. Let's look at that again. So I parry prime, just prime, and just whip over and deliver the riposte. You're welcome to deliver the riposte standing, or I'm going to do it on the lunge. So get more lunge repetitions in. And also it means people fall out at home a little bit more time to follow along. Right. So let's just practice a few times. So prime, riposte, back to guard. Prime, cut 2, 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 back to guard. I'm going to demonstrate the side. So, prime, cut 2, back to guard. Prime, cut 2, back to guard. Prime, cut 2, freak out about damaging the roof, back to guard. One day I'll get a place with a higher roof, or alternatively find somewhere that's well lit enough that I can do this during the day. Right. That's a few repetitions. So does anyone have any questions about that? You have a question. Jacob, when using high prime as a short offencer against a tall offencer, does it change at all? Maybe. I find the hand positions can be a bit approximate. You might find that you need to hold it a bit higher, depending on not only how big the height difference is, but also how how your opponent cuts. I mean, if you're referring specifically to me and fencing me, which fair enough. Like I actually really love it when my students specifically try and think of ways to beat me because it helps test me out and helps keep things interesting for me. Yeah, and it depends. If you're doing it against me, I'm probably going to keep my hand low when cutting because I'm worried that you'll hit me in the forearms. Like that if my hand goes too high, you'll take advantage and have a crack at my sword arm. Some people who are less worried about that and maybe try and protect their arms with distance rather than opposition will hold their hand higher to get more reach, or even to try and come over the top of your guard. In which case, you're going to have to parry higher and maybe a little wider. But also enjoy the fact that you've got a better chance of cracking them in the sword arm. So yeah, look, it's hard to answer because sword fighting is a bit varied. There's no hard and fast rules. There's no, it's not like, your hand must be here, not here, or whatever. Like, and when you see people talking about that sort of stuff online, it's usually the case is that they do martial arts that are kata-based rather than fighting-based. So about like performing motions rather than about doing motions to other people or doing motions competitively, I guess. So yeah, so it does vary a bit, and sometimes you're going to have to hold your hand higher. As a shorter fighter, there are definitely times when you're going to have to raise your hand to parry something. But there are also times when you're not. And likewise for me as a taller fighter, there are going to be times when my high prime isn't really that high, but it's still like, but there are also going to be times when, you know, it's at a normal high or even is like excessively high. And there are also times when you'll do stuff like you'll parry and then raise to a really, really high prime to open up your opponent so you can then have a crack at their sword arm. So yeah, the answer is basically it depends on situation. And this is kind of something that's hard to simulate in solo training. So you know, I guess the upshot of that is if you had your hand in slightly different places each time you do that parry, you were still practicing valid parries every time. So are there any other questions? All right, take that as a no. So I'm just going to pause.